Hey everyone, and welcome to the Tiny Apartment Tour. Boom! I built everything that you'll see inside this apartment. I installed the flooring, I designed and built every furniture piece, and even some decorative elements. There's a project video for everything in my channel, so feel free to browse around once this video ends. Alright, let's dive in. This apartment is a single-room space that includes one small bathroom and a large balcony. It has 31 livable square meters, making it fairly small. The walls are neither square nor parallel to each other, which brought many challenges in the design and furniture building. This is the entrance. It's an area that I've decided to divide from the rest of the space. This wall gives some privacy when the door is open and is in fact the back of the wardrobe. On the right, there's an entry closet, the first functional piece you see and interact with. Being such a small area, installing large mirrors was the way to make the space feel a little bigger. I store house cleaning items and sports equipment in this closet. This slim compartment has adjustable shelves that can be removed. They came in handy because I've recently started playing softball and equipment fits right in there. Right up in the ceiling, we have my most recent lamp, which has a solid walnut cover that goes well with the large round light on the wall. Above the mirror closet, I added a large compartment with a clean and handleless door, like most of the furniture I've built for this apartment. Moving towards the left, we have a small slatted cabinet to store shoes and small bags. It's right below the electrical panel and fire extinguisher. Next, we have a small but fully functional bathroom. The floating sink cabinet was actually the first project I built for this apartment over 4 years ago. It features an oak veneer top and solid oak handles that ended up determining the color scheme for this room, along with the super light blue and white. The mirror cabinet above it is where we keep the toiletries, and it's the only store-bought cabinet in the whole apartment. Up above the bathroom door are the laundry baskets. I throw my clothes up daily, which can be fun, but annoying when you miss the target. I installed a large hook in the wall that locks to the back of the basket and keeps it safely hung. This concept is a great solution for when floor space isn't available, but you still want a tidy and functional home. Behind the door is a towel warmer with handmade oak supports, and the large towel is typically hung there, hiding the outlet and timer. The shower cabin isn't fancy but fits the space nicely. It has folding doors, which I think is the best choice not only to get in and out of such a cramped space, but also to amplify the area around the toilet. If the doors are completely closed, it's really easy to knock your hand or elbow onto glass, but keeping it open halfway creates more room to move without hurting your arm. Above the toilet, there's the water heater that I enclosed in this cabinet, painted in the same color as the walls. I made a sliding bottom to keep maintenance and servicing easy. Last but not least, there's the ceiling lamp made with oak strips and fluffy 3D printed clouds. I can operate the lights independently, and the exhaust fan turns on with a recessed light. Alright, let's move into the main living area. As you can see, it is quite small. I can cross it in just 4 large steps. It may seem bigger to you than it is because I'm using wide-angle camera lenses. I think it's also because I'm super short. If I was taller, let's say 1.72 meters, the relation of my body to the space would be completely different. You'd probably also perceive this as an even smaller apartment. Behind the entry wall, there's the wardrobe, which I recently extended all the way to the ceiling to gain more storage space. All these doors and drawers are birch plywood and operated by clicking motion, a common feature of most projects here. Next to the window is a large multifunctional piece encompassing the sofa, the bed, and more storage. The coffee table has a lift-up mechanism that I use to work, eat, and build Lego. And there's more storage space inside. It is quite sturdy and it serves as a resting point for the wall bed when it's bedtime. If you wonder if it takes too long to transform the living room into the bedroom, I'll show you in real time. I start by picking up all the pillows and putting them away on a stool. Then I remove the back cushions. And after that, it's just a matter of flipping the Murphy bed over the couch and coffee table. I can add the pillows that are stored in the sofa drawers. By the way, this is why the handles are cut out off-centered, so that the drawers can be opened when the bed is flipped. And that's it! 44 seconds is not slow in my opinion, and it's a price that I'm happy to pay to get the bed out of the scene during the daytime. The platform is sturdy and leveled with the sofa and table, so there's no risk of forcing the mechanism to break during regular use. It is quite easy to pull up due to the hydraulic pistons that carry most of the heavy load. Around the bed, I built cabinets customized and adapted to the angles in the room. Even though I enjoy living in a visual clean space that tends to be minimal by design, I am not a minimalist. I love objects, tools, and live in organized chaos. So having tons of built-in storage was the only solution to control some of the visual clutter while allowing this tiny space to carry more storage than bigger homes that I visited. Every little corner is well thought out and functional. For example, here we have a cabinet only accessed by this small door, which makes it perfect for storing small instruments like the ukulele bass I made some years ago. I can store many vertically and give life to this otherwise useless volume. Between the wall bed and sofa system and the wardrobe, I built a small floating desk with a piano keyboard integrated that slides out just like a drawer. Under the desk, there is access to a cabinet space on the right, and by rolling the file cabinet out, we can access another cubby behind the sofa. Across the room, we have the kitchen area with an extendable dining table. This table can seat 8 to 10 people when extended. I keep the extension wings in the drawer of the media console built specifically for them. Speaking of the media console, this is probably the most complex piece of furniture I've ever built. It has storage on both sides, dedicated compartments, and it's demountable. To organize my ideas and plan this project properly to achieve the best results, I used a free tool called Milanote. I have been using this app regularly to keep my projects on track, as I find it super intuitive and convenient. It's great for organizing creative projects with digital mood boards. You can compile sketches, color palettes, to-do lists, and notes without space or time limitations. I always upload a few 3D model variations of my projects so I can look at them and make decisions about the final design. You can create multiple folders to keep everything tidy as you progress your creative journey, and this can also be shared. You can have your colleagues or a partner see and make changes to your board if, let's say, you're working on a personal project. I know this is pretty simple, but the to-do list is one of my favorite features because it gives you the ability to adapt to changes, unlike pen and paper lists. If I can't complete a task on a particular day, I can move it forward and always see an updated list. Even though this video was not a building project, I still created various to-do lists so I wouldn't forget all the things that I wanted to film and share with you. Millinode works on mobile, tablet, and computer, so it will automatically update on all devices. It is also free and has no time limit, so feel free to sign up using the link in the description and start your next creative project. Thanks to Millinode for sponsoring this video. It took me several weeks to plan, sketch, build, and film this piece, but it was totally worth it because I customized every detail, just like this drawer custom built to hold a record player. The kitchen was the first large project I made for this apartment. One of my favorite things about it is that most appliances are visually hidden. I really wanted it to be a fully functional kitchen, something rarely seen in small spaces. I love creative cooking and having the right tool for the job, so I'm okay with seeing a bit of chaos inside the drawers and cabinets. It means I have a dough scraper if needed, even if I only use it twice yearly. If I need a tiny whisk, I have a tiny whisk. So as long as I can fit useful things, all is good. And the same concept applies to the overall furniture of the space and obviously the tools in my studio. If you're curious, the pull-out pantry is holding just fine, even though the drawer slides I use are not meant for this application. We have a small dishwasher next to the sink and a washing machine beneath it. This is truly a full feature space in a tiny carcass. Everything is very compact and at one step's reach. I use this step stool to access all the upper cabinets. It stays under the dining table when not in use. On the right side of the fridge are two floating shelves where I keep my interior plants, some art pieces and knickknacks that I swap out occasionally. My setting pothos is growing some crazy big leaves, which is exciting. Under the shelves, we have trash cans and a few more plants. Right, now let's take a look at the balcony. It's a fairly large balcony with more than 1/3 of the interior area. This is where I spend my initial moments of the day in spring and summer. It's a great place to pause and observe all the natural colors, shapes, and textures. This This tiny spider just captured a young ladybug, and it's incredible to see how strong and intelligent it can be pulling up its prey. Okay, starting with the bamboo wall. These bamboo plants arrived here almost 4 years ago. Their purpose is to hide the ugly wall and glass structure behind them. They are evergreen plants, and new sprouts grow quite tall. They get a feed crisis frequently, multiple times in spring and summer, which requires some work on my part. Sometimes ladybugs populate the plants, eating as many aphids as they can, but once they fly away after a day or two, aphids strike back and make the plants suffer. The floor gets super sticky due to their honey-like secretions that call for ants, and it's a snowball effect that I try to stop when possible. Next to the bamboo, I have cotton sprouts that I'm experimenting with, and a large fern that was planted 2 years ago, like most plants in wooden boxes. I got my first tomato plants recently and have much to learn. This is a cherry tomato plant with the best view in the city, if I say so myself. Next to it are chives, where I recently found some cute little yellow eggs. These are ladybug eggs from a mom that confiscated the area a couple weeks ago. They also took care of most succulent aphids. Then we have manjericos, a traditional plant for Porto's São João festival that takes place by the end of June. They're like tiny leaf basil plants. This year I tried growing them from last year's seeds. They were still pretty small when I filmed this, but looked like this by the time of the festivities. Here's my other tomato plant. This one will hopefully grow some large tomatoes. I made a DIY cage to support it as it grows. Here we have an avocado tree I grew from a store-bought avocado. It will probably never grow fruit, but it's been a fun experiment. And here we have an olive tree that a group of international fans sent me back in December 2016. I'd love to hear from you if you are watching this video. It did flower for the first time a couple weeks ago, but I don't see any olives. Hopefully next year the pollination can be more successful. This tree is a survivor because it almost died in 2019, but then new sprouts came from the dead center of the tree. These are my first padron peppers too. They are flowering and producing nice fruit, and this is a hot banana pepper plant. The remaining plants are mostly cactus and succulents that I've collected over the years. Here's a final look into the vertical garden that is holding up well. I haven't refinished the wood in the meantime, so the aging of the wood is giving the wall and the planters this natural gray color. Now, for the things that could have gone better or I would do differently if I was building these projects again. The bed platform is a bit warped, and it was slightly warped from day one because I used reclaimed wood for the structure that wasn't straight. Next time, I'll use straight lumber that doesn't show internal stress. The large wardrobe doors warp a bit with seasonal changes, so if I were making tall plywood doors again, I would reinforce the back with metal bars, or perhaps use another material less prone to seasonal change. And lastly, the sink cabinet top that is veneered with oak has some of the fiber splitting, so I would use solid wood and probably not oak, because oak tends to get ugly black stains when it gets in contact with water. I hope you enjoyed the tour and found it a nice way to close the tiny apartment chapter. If you have any questions regarding the projects, I'm happy to answer them in the comments below. If you're interested in supporting what I do, visit my online shop where you'll find plans to build some of these projects, t-shirts, socks, and a lot more. Here's a playlist with all 32 projects by order of appearance. I'll catch you guys later. Até já!